What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to TTP Sports. The Eagles get a win, squeak by, actually, the Detroit Lions in the week 1 of the season. Definitely wasn't expecting that, in my honest opinion. I didn't expect it to be a blowout, but my God, Jonathan Gannon. That was ugly. Ugly. And yeah, week 1, you're going to expect some rust here and there. You're going to get the foul calls. There's going to be some missed tackles here and there and everything like that. But it just happened all game. There was probably only maybe a few stretches of the game where the Eagles forced a ton of 3-and-outs. And that we were in the sessions where in that second quarter when the Eagles scored 21 unanswered points when they were putting the balls out there, the points out there. And it was just come on, Gannon. You're getting all these 3-and-outs. You're being aggressive. You're getting the Jared Goff. You're forcing turnovers. You're forcing 3-and-outs. And then you get conservative. And then basically through the rest of the game, you're getting penalties that are costing you. You get, later on towards the end of the game when you're out there for an offensive drive, a pass to Devontae Smith. Looks like there's going to be a pass interference call, but then you get Lane Johnson being called for a penalty, which offsets it, and you have to replay a third down in that situation. Just penalties that are just costing you, offside penalties, and then third down conversions for the Lions later on in the game just became a huge issue. You had so much issues stopping the Lions on third down as the ball game went along, and that became, a major problem and a real annoyance because what did you have a 31-14 lead, basically your most at that point, and you're letting the Lions chip into the lead. You eventually make it a 38-point game, and then you allow them to get closer and closer. Long drives. The defense just stays out there, not getting the offense. And when the offense does get out there, it's a couple of, one and done type of plays, a 3-and-out, or they get a first down and then they're not able to convert on the next drive. So then you're just letting the Lions chip into that lead to where it gets very, 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 very close. A little too close for comfort there. A little bit of struggling. Guys really struggling to even make their tackles. Some passes that probably should have been stopped. Darius Slay later on in the game, which, the touchdown that made it a 38-35 game. Darius Slay getting, beat for that catch in the end zone for the touchdown. So there were many issues in this game. There are also some things that are positives that really stood out to me. Miles Sanders, I thought, had a pretty solid game. The run game had a pretty solid game as well. Jalen Hurts, he made some big plays on third down, especially with his legs, to get those first downs, to get some yardage, and, make some big plays in that situation. Had some issues with the passing, some on their throws. There was a play, I believe it was at the end of the first half. It was a play to Kenneth Gainwell where he just underthrew him. And if he makes a better pass to Gainwell there, maybe you get a touchdown and an extra score there to going into the half. And you're up by more of a wide margin at that point. And, some of them, like I said, some underthrows, some guys just not being hit on target. And then you had some, Devontae Smith didn't get that many targets in this game. He had a couple of targets, and both of them, I believe, were dropped. A.J. Brown, no. That's why you brought A.J. Brown in here. He was fantastic in this game. Get that one deep throw to A.J. Brown to get it towards the end zone, near close towards the end of the first half, to even get yourself in that position to get a field goal. So A.J. Brown, picking up first downs, clutch first downs, might I add. And, just those situations on offense. The offense was very solid today overall. Situations where you needed to be clutch and pick up a huge first down to get some yards to get into the red zone. Your offense was really good. In my honest opinion, the offense wasn't, the main issue, but, later towards the end of the game, they were getting into those third and out situations. But when you needed to get that first down to get the quarterback sneak on 4th and 1, and thankfully that happened because I didn't want to see the Lions get the ball back whatsoever. But overall, I feel like it's yeah, I think Hurts overall, I think he was solid. I think he wasn't great. He wasn't bad. He was solid. I think he was pretty solid overall in that instance. The defense, man, Jonathan Gannon just getting way too conservative. Guys missing their tackles. You're getting Goff just way too comfortable in that instance. It was kind of getting pretty annoying at that point. Jonathan Gannon, I don't know. What was being more successful was They were being aggressive. In that stages where they were getting a bunch of 3-and-outs, they were being aggressive. They were getting to the quarterback. They were doing a 5-man front line. And they just stopped. After, you get that interception, that pick 6 by Bradbury, you let the Lions go right down the field and get a touchdown and respond instantly. That shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening at all. And I really hope this is not going to be an issue the entire year, because it was an issue last year. And there's no excuses for Jonathan Gannon this year, because Howie Roseman went out there and got pieces to add to this defense and make the defense 10 times better. It's up to Jonathan Gannon now to make sure that the defense goes out there and performs. And today's game was not a good start. Yeah, week 1, we'll maybe brush it by for week 1, but there's going to be a lot of people harping on Jonathan Gannon. He wasn't good last year. He needs to make a big statement this year, because that was not pretty. Just not pretty at all. You just lost that aggressiveness, got way too conservative, barely rushing the quarterback. You had 1 sack today, and that was a big sack by Fletcher Cox. You struggle to rush the quarterback. Offensive line, honestly, in this game was kind of weak too. They were letting a lot of guys rush to Jalen Hurts. He had to scramble so many times. And you're going to get Jalen Hurts needs to make quicker decisions. He had guys open down the field. But when he has the offensive line allowing like 2 guys to chase after him in like a split of 2 seconds, Hurts is not going to have anything to think about right there. He's got to run and get away. And good, quick thinking on his feet to get some yardage. And sometimes when he picks up those first downs. So the offensive line today, honestly, was pretty weak. Pretty surprising in that instance, in my opinion. Pretty surprising. But overall, just looking at some statistics, Jalen Hurts overall, he was 18 for 32, 243 yards, and had a quarterback rating of 80. Miles Sanders, I thought, was pretty solid overall in this game. He did have a huge rushing attempt on a 3rd and 1, which picked up a huge amount of yards, 24-yard gain there. He had 13 carries for 96 yards. He did get a touchdown finally, his first touchdown in 2 seasons. It's going to be one of those things for Miles Sanders. He had a pretty solid game, honestly. I think he did. Jalen Hurts, he carried the ball 17 times, rushed for 90 yards. Gainwell had a couple of carries for 20 yards, and Boston Scott got a touchdown in the second half of this game as well. But A.J. Brown was amazing. A.J. Brown was flat out fantastic. There is a chemistry between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Definitely. Those guys grew up together. They knew each other. And you're seeing that connection on the field. A.J. Brown making some great catches, especially that one late in the first half where it was a heavy contested. He somehow came up with the ball, and he found a way to get into the red zone. That was just simply fantastic, that 54-yard gain. So he had 10 receptions overall, 155 yards. So he was huge. Dallas Goedert, he had 3 receptions for 60 yards. So he had some big gains in this game as well. Devontae Smith, he had 4 targets. He was not able to make a catch in this game. So a little bit of an off day for Devontae. I think he'll be back in no time, honestly. And just defensive wise, it just, Marcus Epps, he made some nice plays. Bradbury, he got the pick 6, which the ball was also deflected by Kaiser White as well. So that was, a good situation in that instance. But it just kind of felt like, Jordan Davis, he had a couple of, plays, but sometimes he would be in and out, in and out, in and out. So wasn't utilized enough, I guess. But also, the run game for the Lions was just completely obliterating us the entire day. Swift, he had 144 yards on the day for 15 carries. And looking at Jared Goff's numbers, 21 for 37, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So you just made him get a little too comfortable, in my honest opinion. You were being aggressive enough. Not aggressive enough at all. It's an issue. You got to, clean that up. And now you got Monday Night Football next week, so you get a couple of extra days to prepare for that instance. And you got to be way better. Got to be way better than what you did today, Gannon. That defense needs to be 20 times better. It was just not good today at all. It was ugly. It was just very ugly. There were sections, when you scored those unanswered points, where the Lions felt like they were out of the game. And then they allowed them to get the touchdown. And then the momentum went to their side. And then you got a touchdown to start the second half. And then you weren't able to get a stop. And then the momentum went back to the Lions. It was like, constant shifts of momentum throughout the entire game. Just didn't look pretty, in my honest opinion. But still, a win is a win. And you take a win whenever you can get it, which is the most important factor overall. And yeah, that's basically it. But just the offensive line was a little bit, there were some, false starts here and there. And there's some quotes here from Nick Sirianni. Pre-snap penalties were detrimental today, of course. And he said they'll clean them up. So I'm seeing, posts right here from the press conference. AJ Brown had a fantastic day. So he's talking about that in his press conference as well. But overall, and also the third downs, I want to see those. Yeah, the Lions were 9 for 14 on third down conversions. You were also 10 for 17, so you were good on third downs as well. 2 for 3 on fourth downs, which was also the huge one to end off the game, which was really important. But that 9 for 14 for the Lions is not good. Like, you were good to start the game on third down. You were able to shut them down, get those quick 3-and-outs during those sessions where you scored the 21 unanswered points. But then it was just like, convert on third down. Goff makes a play. There's a chance to, tackle Goff. He's scrambling. He's running for a first down. Like, where is someone to make the tackle? Guys squeaking up by tackles. Guys, brush against them, and they don't finish the tackle at all. So it's things that need to be cleaned up. But I'm still very nervous about Jonathan Gannon overall. I think we all are at this point. That was going to be one of the major question marks coming into the season. How is Gannon going to make this team perform with a better defense? And that's something that you gotta think about in that instance. Gannon, it's a huge year for him. Huge year. There's a lot of positives to take away from this game, though, too. I thought Jalen Hurts was pretty solid. Like I said, AJ Brown was amazing. Things this week, I thought Miles Sanders was pretty solid. The run game was still very solid as well. Got to clean it up defensively, though. Got to clean it up mightily. Mightily. Got to clean it up. Just wasn't pretty. Just was not pretty. Got to really clean it up. Got EJW in the chat said Hurts was good in the throw game and it wasn't his fault today. Yeah, he had a couple of underthrows, but I think overall he was pretty good. He made some nice passes to AJ Brown, especially that, deep one at the end of the first half. Felt like, the line definitely hurts. The offensive line definitely hurts today because they were just, letting guys break through, squeak by, where there's like 2 guys chasing Jalen at some point. He has to make a quick decision to either throw the ball away, use his legs to try to gain some yards there. So the offensive line definitely wasn't pretty at all. Bring Schwartz back. I would love that. I would love to bring Jim Schwartz back. Never liked Gannon. His defense is a wet paper bag. Hurts had no seconds to throw the ball. It was like basically he had no time whatsoever in the pocket to make any type of decisions. He just had to make that, quick. Am I going to throw it or am I going to run? Basically, he's choosing to run every single time because there's not 2 guys chasing him coming around the bend. So, sure, he's a little bit annoyed by that because the offensive line was really good last year. I know people were saying that the offensive line didn't have a good training camp, but I think they'll improve as the year goes along. But overall, they just need to be better. Need to clean up a lot of those things. Clean it up overall. And it's funny, too, because you're watching this game and then you have the Phillies to start the game earlier, and the Phillies have been in a rain delay for like the past, 3 hours, 4 hours at this point. It's ridiculous. I don't even know why MLB even made the game start today. Aaron Nola pitched 2 innings, and now he's not even able to pitch the rest of the game because of this long delay. Ridiculous. A lot of things that were ridiculous today. If the Phillies eventually do resume, which they're probably going to, because I doubt MLB wants to postpone the game whatsoever. I'll have a recap later tonight on that. Do you think this show's not playing starters in the preseason will lead to bad regular season play? You could see some rust in the first couple of weeks. I mean, they did the same thing last year, and I guess that's what you saw in the first, it was a slow start on the year. But I feel like every team just does that now. They don't start their starters in the preseason games. I feel like that's just a common thing now throughout the NFL, which, it kind of does, bother a lot of people. It does bother me because, like, why don't these guys, they play 1 or 2 snaps and then they're done. So it's something that I guess is just a common trend now through the NFL that just teams are doing to, prevent injuries and everything like that. So, and I guess that's just something that people have to adapt to. But I think, the first couple of weeks are most likely going to be, very sloppy overall. So it's just something that you got to get by. Something you got to get by. They got to be more clean. Got to be better. Got Mr. W. Well, that was close. Detroit really isn't that bad, and a lot of people just kind of laugh at them after last season. They definitely have 500, maybe even a winning season in them. Yeah, I definitely didn't think it was going to be a blowout coming into this game. I kind of think it was going to be closer than not. I still thought the Eagles were going to win regardless. I did have some of my buddies say that, the Lions are a terrible team and they're desperate and everything like that. And look what just happened. Well, then also got to factor in Gannon's defense being terrible overall and just his play calling in general being terrible. He went from being aggressive, which was working, to being very conservative and letting the Lions get back into the game, which was very annoying. So I guess it goes both ways. I kind of meant to blame Jonathan Gannon because, he kind of sucks, in my opinion. Just is. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Just overall, looking at some more stats in this game. I'm trying to see rushing overall for the Eagles, 216 yards, passing 239. So it was very even on the pass and the rushing, which is very nice to see overall. What else? Yeah, it was a pretty evenly matched game overall, I guess, on both sides. Just got to be better. Got to clean up a lot of that stuff. I'm just looking at scores throughout the NFL because there were some earlier games on. I know the Commanders, you saw Carson Wentz throw 2 interceptions against the Jaguars in 2 straight drives, but the Commanders ended up winning the game regardless later on. The Saints, they won late against Atlanta after they were losing, I believe, like 23-14 or something like that. So they came back and won that game. The Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans, they tied. They finished at a tie 20-20, so weird. And Pittsburgh, they just beat Cincinnati after no one wanted to win that game in overtime. Cleveland, they beat Carolina barely. And there's still some games coming on right now. Yeah, Vegas and the Chargers are playing. Minnesota and the Packers are playing. Kansas City, they're currently dominating the Cardinals 14-0. And then you eventually got your Sunday night game with Tampa Bay and Dallas. So got some nice football for week 1 to start off. Then you're going to get that game tomorrow with, Denver and Seattle for Monday Night Football. So, yeah, there's definitely some things to look at there. Going to be an interesting week 1. It definitely has been an interesting week 1 overall. So, yeah. Very nerve-wracking game. Shouldn't have been that way, in my honest opinion. And now we wait for week 2 against the Minnesota Vikings, which is going to be next Monday. It's funny, like they throw you all automatically into a Monday night game next week against the Vikings. Then you get the Commanders, so you see Carson Wentz very early in the season. Then you get the Jaguars, Cardinals, Cowboys, and then the rest of the schedule. So look into next week against Minnesota, and then we move on from there. But everything, it's got to clean up. Got to clean it up, Gannon. Tackles, just sloppy tackles overall. It kind of looked lazy, in my honest opinion. There were a lot of positives, but there's also a lot of negatives to take out of this game as well. Learn from it. Be better on defense, because you can't be like this against good teams. You just cannot. Can't be this leaky against good teams. It's got to be way better than that. Are we home? Yes, next week is the home opener on Monday Night Football. So Eagles will be in the link next week, and I'm expecting it to be a major madhouse in South Philadelphia because I do live like 5 minutes for a sports complex, so it's going to be a madhouse down here next Monday. So it's going to be very exciting to see that on Monday night. And yeah, Eagles get the win, 1-0 to start the year. A lot of sloppiness, but there were also a lot of positives to take out. I thought Jalen Hurts was solid. A.J. Brown was great. Running game was solid. Miles Sanders was solid, but the defense needs to be a lot better. Also, Darius Slay had that, dropped interception, which went right through his hands. There were some good things on defense, but the bad things stood out as well. A lot of sloppy penalties, a lot of false starts, things that really screwed you over. Got to clean it up. The Eagles were definitely at the beginning of last year, they were very sloppy with the penalties, and I think every team is just like that in the beginning of the year just because of rust and everything like that. So I do expect the penalties to clean up overall, but defense really needs to clean up. Really needs to clean up. So, thank you everyone for joining today's stream. I'll probably be doing another stream later tonight if the Phillies want to play again after this rain delay. So, definitely expect that later. So, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below on this game. I'd like to hear your thoughts as always. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description down below. BrodesMedia Painted Lines. I recommend all of that. I also recommend hitting that subscribe button and also using the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Use it for anything upcoming home game for Eagles, Phillies, whatever you can think of. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Also hit the subscribe button, because I kind of blanked if I said that or not. But still, thank you everyone for joining the stream today. And later tonight, we'll see a Phillies stream. So I will see you next time.